Welcome to some question and answer on the Flip Squad. We get a lot of questions on this channel, and we actually like to instead of typing them back, we like to video log them back, vlog them back to y'all. Just because I think it's more fun and it's less typing. Yeah. Less bleep blooping, more chatting, and I'm all about that. I'm a talker. So we have some questions. You have elected to ask me all the questions. Yes. One time I'm going to ask you all the questions. Oh no. So, and then I'm not going to say nothing. So let's go ahead and get started with y'all's questions.
All right, we got Lee Brown 9658. Oh, Flip Squad, I am looking into selling on eBay in early 2024. I have started doing little videos on Instagram from my garden and cooking breakfast. I am thinking about doing videos of the yard sales and flea markets. YouTube helped me start thinking about that. Any certain GoPro you recommend to use?
Really anything over like a GoPro, I think it's 6 or 7 would probably work. We really like the new GoPros, mostly because they don't heat up as fast. We had a GoPro, one of the GoPros, I think it's a GoPro 9. I would stay away from that. It has audio pop issues, so it's like a hardware issue. They don't care about it. We try to return it. They said we don't care, and there's nothing you do. Once you get audio pops in there, you're pretty much done. And you have to sell, we sold it, actually. We sold a GoPro with it, and we got no money for it whatsoever. We have a GoPro 8, which uses the old battery, but if you get a new GoPro, like a 10 or an 11, they use the new style battery, which is way better than the old style, and they're interchangeable. So I would try to get a GoPro 10. You can use it with way less. You can get a GoPro 5 or 4 and have a cheaper GoPro, but we use these a lot. We use them almost every day, and the 10 and 11 have yet to fail us. The GoPro 8 actually did pretty good, but it uses a different battery, and we're constantly changing batteries out, so we had to get 2 that had the same battery. So I like the GoPro 10. You have a GoPro 10, I have GoPro 11. They work almost exactly the same, so I would go with the newer 10 or 11. You can go less, don't get me wrong. Like people are going to say, oh, you don't need that expensive GoPro. You can pick one up fairly reasonably priced on eBay for, and then we just have a thing that we hook up on our chest that, that mounts the GoPro.
Mm-hmm. And also, what video editing software do you use?
I use Wondershare, Filmora, Express. They just updated to number 13. I do pay for it. There is not a free version anymore for Filmora, I'm pretty sure. There might be like a free 30 days or something. I think it's the easiest, but I've only used 2. DaVinci Code, I think, is another one. And that one is free. Very hard for me to learn. This one is actually very, very easy for me to handle. So we do pay for it. It is expensive. But we also edit a ton of film, so.
Michael Brooks 6961 says, is the booth a monthly charge and or so they take a commission on your sales? Is it worth it to have a booth?
There is a monthly charge for the size of booth that you're in. That's going to vary through actually area from here to here. I mean, we don't know how much it was at the other place, but it's going to vary. But there is a monthly charge in our area for the booth, and then they take a certain percentage off of that. For running it, basically. I mean, it's fairly easy. I will tell you this, in the first 2 days, we sold 16 items. Now, we don't know exactly because it's Christmas time, 4th quarter, people are in there buying everything. We don't know, but I mean, already we would have already made our booth rent and then 15% off that just in the first day. But we will maybe, like, as it gets further into this, we'll tell y'all what we're selling, what it's for, and then go from there. I mean, the booth rent's not super expensive at that place. We have a general idea of how much each booth would cost just by the size of our booth. Mm-hmm. So I mean, so far it's good. But again, we don't know 100% because we're only 2 days or 3 days into owning or having a booth. But so far it's pretty nice. I can't complain. But there is a monthly fee, and then there is a commission on top of that. We like it. It's just another way to sell stuff. That we don't have to be there. That's the most important thing. Time is precious.
Yeah, and we found out that if you take a picture of stuff that's in your booth and you post it on Facebook Marketplace, you don't have to meet them like at a random place. You can just tell them to go to your booth. Tell them your booth number and say, hey. And it drives customers there, so when they're picking up that item, they're also looking at other stuff.
Yep. We just did that for some jug shit you had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That just sounded weird, but yeah.
We're keeping that in. Moving on.
Moving on. How do y'all come up with the prices that you mark things?
We look them up. We look up every single item. Now, certain things you won't have to look up. Like I've sold 1 billion single sockets. They run between $8 and $10. Most of the time I'll still even look them up if I've never seen that one before. But everything else we look up, and maybe 6 months later, if we know something's going on with the market on something particular, we'll go ahead and change the price on something like that. But usually once we set a price, we don't really go back and edit that price unless we know something's going to go up like considerably, and that's about it. So we just look up every single item we pick up, and then we go to eBay, we look at the solds on there. If we can't find it there, we go to Worth Point. That also helps. There's Terapeak on eBay that helps you with that pricing. You can go to Google, see what things have been listed for. So we really just go to like eBay solds, and that determines the price.
Items that are selling right now might not be in a month or so. Do you regularly go through everything to see how items are selling?
No, not really. Now, some items, we've never had a month swing on something like selling the knot. I will tell you, during when everybody was at home, Wii's were super popular. Like, you could sell a Wii for $150. Now, I think they're going for 30 or 40. What else was super big? Dansko shoes, for some reason.
Oh, weights.
Weights. Yup, like...
Exercise equipment.
Exercise equipment was on fire 2 years ago. Now it's not. But the month, I mean, so that's, you kind of start to learn that stuff. But like a month swing, not really. And the stuff we pick up, you kind of want to pick up things that are... we don't pick up a lot of things that are on fad. Is that the word nowadays? Is that what the kids are using? Fad? On fleek? Whatever. We're not picking that stuff up anyway. Like the Wii stuff, we didn't really even understand that until it was over. And then the weights, we did pick up some weights and sell them on eBay, which sold very, very fast. Now we don't really pick them up unless they're like collectible. Like there's some York plates worth a lot of money, some Weider plates worth a lot of money. So we do actually go through. We still have weights listed that we went through and then delisted them, or we lowered the price. Same with Wii's. We had a whole bunch of Wii's listed up high. They weren't selling, and we did knock them down. But not on like a monthly basis. That might be on a yearly basis that we do that.
Mm-hmm. Where are you located at that you have so many yard sales? This person is from Oregon.
We are in the Southeast. We're in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and we do have a lot of yard sales. But always remember, as most of these are on Friday and Saturday, like what you see on video from on the Bearded Thrift Machine channel, is we hit a lot of yard sales in 2 days. I mean, we try to hit every yard sale that's in our area. That might be 40 yard sales. We're going to all 40. Mm-hmm. We're going to 50. We don't care. We're as many yard sales as we can get to and we can stand, we go to it. And that's how we make our videos. But there is, we have a longer yard sale area. Like Florida, all year round yard sales. Up here, not so much. It's going to end in like late November, December, January, February. Very little yard sales. That's when we'll start getting into storage units, because we still need inventory, and that's another great way to get inventory.
Yep. And they said, they asked one more question. Why not use the cheapest way to ship? Now again, this person is in Oregon, and they brung up a crescent pliers that we had listed. But they said that it was $10.40 to ship. Why charge $10.40 when you could have used a flat rate priority envelope?
We usually, like for something like that, that's probably 14 or 15 ounces, we're going to go ahead and use USPS ground, and you're in Oregon, and that you're going to see the highest shipping. Mm-hmm. We also then, on Pirate Ship, we can see who we sell to the most. We mostly sell East Coast. Now, California is like in third, but it seems like Californians don't care about the shipping costs. They just buy. You know what I'm saying? But most of our stuff is East Coast, Florida, and a ton of New York. So if we would sell that, on this side, on the East Coast, that would be much cheaper. We could put it in a flat rate, but the East Coast would be then $3 higher. Mm-hmm. So, and it really kind of goes like, when you do the USPS ground, it's more like middle of the country is going to be, you're only talking $2 either or, if that makes sense. Like if I did flat rate, I'm also Daffy the Duck lately. If I did a flat rate, then the East Coast side would be 3 or 4 times higher than it should be by using the USPS ground. And then if I did the flat rate on the other side, y'all would be, cheaper on that side on the West Coast. So it's one of those things, if you live on the coast, you really can't win on which one you do. Now, if it's something super heavy, like 6 or 7 or 10 pounds or 70 pounds, even cubic though, see, we do pirate ship. So cubic, if something is small but still very heavy, they will do priority cubic, and they actually even do USPS ground cubic, which is usually a lot cheaper on the East Coast than it is in a flat rate box. So, and just one of those things, we try to use the cheapest, that one right there. Honestly, shipping anything to Oregon for us is not cheap. It doesn't matter what it is because it's such a long way. We shipped something to Alaska, it was like 13 bucks for a 4-ounce thing. This thing was going basically to Russia. I mean, it was out there, so.
So we have Carry Handy 4247. Where do you list large items like the wicker screen?
That would be a local sale like Facebook Marketplace, but we're probably going to go ahead and cut down on that because Facebook Marketplace is a time killer. And we have the new hack of basically putting the item in our booth, taking a picture of it, listing it on Facebook Marketplace, right? And then guiding them to the booth. So then just think what you're doing. You're getting the people in your booth, they might buy something else. Somebody's already there manning it. You don't have to meet them. You don't have to deal with any of that stuff. And so yeah, so that's our new thing. If we buy something big, like we just bought a big Santa riding a reindeer, 100% going in the booth. Blow molds now. We'll sell the expensive ones on eBay because they're not that hard to ship. But anything real big, going in the booth, taking a picture of it, and then moving this stuff quick. Turning and burning. So we do appreciate everybody that watches. We enjoy these. We like the question and answers, and one day we will go live here. Maybe in next year. We have so much to do in the next 2 months for sure, and then maybe next year we can start going live on this channel. Also, we go on Whatnot. We're live a lot every Thursday. It's gonna be a little bit choppy in the next 2 to 3 weeks, but after that we should go ahead and get into a good rhythm, especially next year. We hope to do a Whatnot show every Thursday next year at 7 p.m. So it's gonna be pretty cool. You got anything?
Nope.
We're out of here.